My name is Chris Capre. I'm the founder of SecondSkiesForex.com and ChronosFX, the fund manager for that. I am the author of an upcoming book called Trading Price Action, which is set to be released later this year. And I was one of the ITC speakers back in 2010 and have been teaching webinars and classes on FX Street for about 5 years now. It's a great question as to who can really benefit from the ITC conference. Honestly, any trader at almost any level is going to benefit because there is something for everybody. How is that? Well, first of all, for the developing trader or for those of you that are struggling to profit or break even, on the base level, you're going to be learning all kinds of strategies from some highly experienced speakers and traders there who have a lot of experience in the market. You know, that alone, it was a very context-rich environment, but the bottom line is that you're in a live classroom, and there's nothing more rich for the learning experience than a live classroom being with lots of traders. So normally the trading experience is, kind of a very solitary one. It's just you behind your computer, maybe talking to a few friends on chat or on a forum, but you're not interacting with people live, which is always, a much more rich experience. And when you're in a room with a bunch of traders being exposed to all different kinds of topics, it really enhances the learning experience, and it gives you a chance to see different traders who approach the markets from completely different perspectives. That allows you to kind of hone in on your perspective. It also allows you to, it also challenges you in this particular areas that, on your perspective on how you approach the markets. And it's going to give you all kinds of new ideas, both in new ways to approach it and also reinforce some of the things that you're doing well that are working. There's going to be a lot of great speakers on trading psychology this time around, which is one of the most critical aspects of trading. The thing that tends to trip up traders more than anything else is between these two ears. And so by developing the right mindset and learning techniques to build the right mindset, you're giving yourself probably the greatest edge you possibly can. And so there's tremendous benefit on that. One of the speakers is the co-founder of Oanda, so we're talking a market maker, which you're going to be exposed to a lot of information that you're not going to get everywhere else. And so that is incredibly beneficial. It also, by listening to all the different speakers, one thing I noticed that many people had was it kind of demystified the experience for them. A lot of the speakers who are some successful traders, some with decades of experience, are going through some of the similar things that you are, or went through some of the similar things that you are going through now. And so it just demystifies the process. Again, when it's just you behind the computer, the only feedback you're getting is from the markets and your own mind. But when you hear about other traders going through, having had to go through similar experiences, or currently are going through similar experiences, it helps to demystify the process and really make it more of a human thing, and really kind of just, it makes it a lot easier for you to understand the learning process of becoming a successful trader. So I found that to be highly valuable. As for what I had learned from it, I learned how important it is to create context-rich environments for the learning experience. I teach webinars and have been for years, and I work with people on my courses, my price action course and Ichimoku courses, but, and that's a fantastic learning experience, but nothing beats being able to work side by side with traders. When I was doing the small groups, there were traders that were, all around me, and they got to ask me questions in real time, what was coming up for them in real time. We got to go over things in real time, live setups in real time, and explain things in such a detail that is much more different than through the medium of the internet. So I found out how important it is to create context-rich environments for traders. I also learned how powerful the educational process really is. I was very fortunate. I have been working with the trading team for years. I myself, worked for a hedge fund, so I got to learn through that experience. I worked at the broker, and so I was constantly in an environment with people, constantly marinating with different ideas and information that I was just kind of soaking it up all the time. But most traders aren't going to get that experience. And so it's going to be much more difficult to get that context-rich environment. And these conferences really offer that opportunity. On top of it, the networking opportunities are fantastic there. I've networked with certain people and built certain relationships that are still being maintained today, and we're still, being very fruitful and interactive today. So, I got to meet some, successful oil traders and some derivative traders, and, some members that actually work for a bank, and so there's some, very good relationships. And you never know, there could very well people be there that are scouting for talent. So maybe you are, a developing or successful trader, and maybe there's somebody out there that will be looking for, someone like yourself to work for them or trade for them. That's always a possibility. So there's tons of opportunities there. I can't recommend it enough in terms of networking. I mean, I learned a tremendous amount from, different traders and how they approach it. And some of them, had similar views, and some of them had very different views of the market than I did. And what I realized is that, there simply is no one way to approach the market. It's the way that works for you, and that could be something completely different from one person to the next. And so it's very important to not take these, ideas that comes out of book as law, and that's the only way you need to trade successfully. I hear a lot of people speaking on the forums, on forexstreet.net saying, well, throw that garbage away of what you're doing. This is the way to trade. And, I think that's just a really closed-minded, immature perspective. There are many successful traders trading every kind of strategy you could possibly imagine. There's a kaleidoscope of strategies that will work. It's just finding out what works for you. And, some of the things that other traders were doing works for them, and it wouldn't work for me, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work. So, I think the demystifying the process, I think the networking is tremendously beneficial, the context-rich environment, all of these are and the strategies and the information that you get exposed to, all incredibly, useful and powerful information. So I can't recommend it enough for people to go to the ITC conference, and I look forward to the next opportunity I have to be able to come back there and teach again.